through YouTube / Patreon / Bit. Shoot, today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. Today's video, I want to talk about part 2 of the war on truth in the subconscious mind. Yes, part 2, the war on truth in the subconscious mind. Now, I was waiting to do this video. I know a lot of people out there like, how long does it take to do a part 2? When you gonna drop part 2 of this series? Blah blah blah. I was waiting because the whole situation with DMX. Rest in peace to DMX. A legend. Gone but never forgotten. But you know what I'm gonna say? It was a blood sacrifice. And I know you got a lot of people out there that's gonna say, "Oh, here you go with this shit. Here you go with this shit." Here you go with that shit again. Always talking about it's a blood sacrifice. It's a blood sacrifice. I'm gonna give you good reasons why it's a blood sacrifice. Because one, about like 5-6 years ago, I did a video called DMX was a blood sacrifice that went wrong. This is not the first time that assassination attempts have been tried on DMX. Excuse me. Like I said, this is not the first time that assassination attempts have been done and tried on DMX. They just wasn't successful 5-6 years ago. That's why I titled the video DMX was a blood sacrifice that went wrong. And I didn't even know, literally, I didn't even know when I did that video, when you first put it out, it's not going to do that many numbers, depending on the algorithm and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But one day, this was a few years ago, one day I was just scrolling through my videos and I seen that DMX was a blood sacrifice video. I seen that video and that shit had like 8,000 views. I don't know how many views it got now. Shit probably got like 10,000 views right now. But it got that many views because a lot of people resonated with what I was saying. They understood and overstood what I was explaining in the video. The Illuminati, the government, Hollywood, whatever you want to call them, they killed DMX, okay? DMX was in the hospital for like a week, a couple of days or some shit. And then all of a sudden he passes away, because it's different time zones. So he passed away, yesterday, American time? I'm not too sure. I think it was either today or yesterday. He passed away at the age of 50. The number 5, and with all numbers you have good, you have bad, you have pros, you have cons. That's the whole point of duality in this third dimension that we clearly living in. You got up, you got down, you got left, you got right. You see what I mean? So with pros and cons of number 5 or any number, it could be used in a good way as an angelic number, or it could be used in a demonic way as in Satanism. You see what I mean? And that's what these Hollywood individuals do. They take these angelic numbers and they use them because it's duality. They can do it. They have the free will to do it. Just because they have the free will to do it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do. But these entities do have the free will to use these numbers in any way they want to. And I'm not saying I justify that. I'm just breaking it down to you because it's just true fact. You know what I mean? It's fair dinkum, or fair dinkum, however you want to say it. You know what I mean? And it's just 100% true fact. So they use these numbers in demonic ways. And the number 5 is really the number of sacrifice and ritualistic killings. You know what I mean? Like, they use the 5-pointed star, the pentagram, when they do their satanic rituals. And it has 5 points to it. You see what I mean? So these numbers can be used in angelic ways, as in a good way, or in satanic ways, as in a bad way. And DMX was a blood sacrifice. And all of this ties into the war on truth because DMX was the realest legend in the game. Notice I didn't say the realest rapper. He was the realest legend in the game. You got some real rappers out here that's too real. Of course, you already know what's going to happen to them. They're going to end up doing the same thing they did to DMX, Prince, Michael Jackson, King Von, what's his name? Kurt Cobain, fucking Elvis, all these people, man, all these people. Sam Cooke. I can go on and on and on. Everybody want to say it's bullshit, it's this, you crazy, it's that. No, actually, I'm not. I'm 100% sober, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the same playbook. They just call out different plays each time. Each time they run the ball down the field, they call different plays. But I mean, I'm using football terminology to explain what I'm saying. So basically, what I mean is, once they find a target or somebody that they feel like they need to get rid of, they're gonna call a certain play, either the suicide play, the homicide play, or the fucking they overdose play. You know how the shit go. You know how it is. You know how it go. Or they was robbed play. You know how this shit go, man. This all was a setup, and that's why I was waiting to do the part 2 because I knew something was gonna happen. I should have said it in the first video, but I already knew something was gonna happen. That it was gonna be another blood sacrifice. I already know this, and I'm not disrespecting DMX and none of that shit. I'm just giving you real facts. And the reason why I say this ties into this topic in this video series is because, like I said, DMX was the realest legend in the game, living right now. He just passed away, but previously living, he was the realest legend in the rap game. Come on, really? You see this shit? When I'm breaking down facts, they want to make all this noise and stuff. Anyway, DMX was the realest rap legend in the game. And I say that all this ties in together is because DMX never sold his soul. DMX never participated in the homosexual ritual. DMX never did the blood sacrifice ritual. DMX built this shit from the ground up. He made great music. And those fucking demons, the Illuminati, the Boule, whatever you want to call them, these reptilians in cheap-ass suits, whatever you want to call them, They had to snake him out. They had to get rid of him because with DMX in the picture, there could be a Jay-Z. You see what I mean? So they had to get rid of him so Jay-Z could flourish. The same thing they did with Biggie and Tupac. Jay-Z couldn't get in if there was still a Biggie and Tupac alive to this day. Jay-Z would probably be out, but he wouldn't be as big as he is. You see what I mean? So they had to get rid of them. Same thing with R. Kelly. Jay-Z can't really be out here taking over and being, a legend in the game with R. Kelly, another R&B legend in the game. Jay-Z a rap legend, but R. Kelly's an R&B legend, part of Chicago history, a part of our Chicago history. That's why they had to get rid of him. They had to put him in jail because they know they can control him. So they're not going to kill him just yet. If they feel like they can control you with money and shit like that, or drugs and women, they might just throw your ass in jail. You know what I mean? See how you deal with that. If they could, talk to you, get you to sign that contract, and they're going to let you back out because then they own you. Your soul is gone. DMX never did that. Everything DMX said, he actually worked for it. He got it from the ground up. And that's why they had to sneak him out and get rid of him. One, to stop his generational wealth. And two, because DMX, there's been plenty of times years ago, DMX was coming out doing the little spoken word, the little poetry and stuff on these different talk shows and stuff. He was explaining his story about the stuff he'd been through in his life and why he was taking drugs. And you got people out here talking, he was doing crack and all this shit. You don't know what that man been through in his life for him to be doing those hardcore drugs. I'm not saying that I condone people doing hardcore drugs, but at the same time, you can't be a judgmental bitch either and be like, this person, this and that. You don't know what the fuck that person been through. Instead of big teething and just running your mouth all the fucking time and being a judgmental motherfucker, why don't you just shut the fuck up and actually try to understand where a person is coming from, or try to understand their point of view, or try to put yourself in their shoes. But at the same time, the most people that judge, they ain't never been through shit in their damn life. That's not for everybody, but that's for about 75-80% of the people that's always making judgments and this and that, and always got something to say, something slick to say, that's always big teething. You know what I mean? They ain't never been through shit. So their life is so boring that they get their enjoyment by spectating other people's lives and living through other people and shit, but they scared to put themselves in other people's shoes to see why people do what they do. You see what I mean? And this is why this is all a part of the war on truth. They had to get DMX out the way because he was a big chess piece in the war on truth. DMX was a part of the truth, spreading the truth, spreading the light. They don't like that. They had to get rid of him because of that. You see what I mean? And all this shit ties in together. And why they're going to be using DMX death, to keep us distracted. while they doing that, it's gonna be some whole other stuff they doing, you know, on the low. The next thing you know, once that's done, once the DMX morning is done, oh, it's new laws passed, this and that. You got this and that. Oh, COVID just killed 3,000 people or some shit. You know, I'm just giving you an example, but that's really what's going on, and that's why that ties in with the war on truth. But also, like I was saying in the first video, with the subconscious mind and shit like that, they just programming people's mind just by all this different stuff. Just like, for example, like, let me give you an example. Like, I personally think, because like I say, the people in Hollywood, you gotta remember, they got the best graphic designers, they got the best artists, they got the best fucking people that do this graphic design and art and stuff like that. So they, in Hollywood, it means the tree of illusions. So they have this technology and the talent on their side to make this shit look a certain way, but it's really not, you know. So they just feeding us illusions, like with the whole stuff that's going on in the rap industry. I kind of believe it's like I say, two perspectives. I kind of believe that, and you know, my logical perspective, that yeah, it's just art. And at the same time, a lot of these dudes really do come from places I come from, you know what I mean? Not the exact same place, but, you know, similar places from struggle, you know, poverty, stuff like that. And they get these huge deals and they get these opportunities, but a lot of them still gang banging. A lot of them still doing dumb shit, hanging around people that they know they really can't trust and just doing dumb shit, talking shit, big teeth, and they just capping like they can't get touched. And a lot of them getting smoked and killed. And like I said, logically, it's really not even, like I said, two perspectives. Logically, this is my logical perspective. It's not even a blood sacrifice. It's just these rappers that got fucking great opportunities. They doing dumb shit, hanging around dumb people, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they getting their dumb ass smoked. But then my second perspective is, it is Illuminati. Because if you look at the shit that's going on, the same shit been going on for the last 50, 60, if not 70 years. But back then, it wasn't even hip-hop then. It was more jazz and, you know, blues and funk and, you know, shit like that, disco, you know. But now, you know, they switch it up, and now it's the modern-day rap industry. It's like gladiator sports. It's like arenas. There's always somebody dying, you know what I mean? But that's because they're harnessing energy, and it's all a part of the war on truth. If you look at all the people that has been dying in the last year or 2 years, let's just say the people who died in the last 2 or 3 years, and this is no disrespect to none of these people. I'm not using their name for clout or none of that. I got my own clout, like I always say. Kobe, Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, and if I forget somebody, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just thinking of ones I can think of off the top of my head. DMX. Who else just passed away recently? Fucking FBG Duck, King Von. And just many, many more. All these artists I just named, they just died in the last year or two, right? What does all these artists have in common? They got a few things in common. Yeah, they make music. Yep. They all come from similar backgrounds, poverty, you know, the ghetto, the hood, impoverished communities, you know, stuff like that. They all, you know, Hebrew Israelites, so-called black African American, right? Okay. But what's the realest thing? They all real. They all stood for the truth. Well, Kobe not a rapper, you know, but still he's in that entertainment field, you know what I mean? And Kobe stood for the truth. Kobe was writing a book. Kobe was he was writing books. He was coming out with a children's cartoon, all type of shit. He won that Grammy. They didn't want him to win that Grammy. They wanted him to just stay on the basketball shit. See, Kobe stood for the truth, so they had to get rid of him. Juice WRLD stood for the truth. They had to get rid of him. Pop Smoke stood for the truth. He was too real. King Von stood for the truth. He was too real, so they had to get rid of him. You get what I'm saying? This is why all this shit ties in on the war on truth. Is because these people have too much power. They're too influential. A lot of them did not sell their soul, so they can't be controlled. And the Hollywood, if they can't be controlled, the Hollywood can't count that money that those independent artists are earning, or those talented artists are earning. So they have to get rid of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is real shit. It's not a game. It's not a joke. You know what I mean? But it's just something for you to think about. More videos coming soon. Rest in peace to DMX.